know you. I want you to do me a favor. I want you to tell all your friends about me.
What are you?
I'm Reviews with Rich.
Nice.
That's funny.
Thought I'd put that bit of in. Everybody, hi. It's Rich, Reviews with Rich. Welcoming all of you to my first ever live stream. I'm joined by a wonderful panel, one who has gone the extra mile, and that is my friend Ben, the attention-seeking geek. Hello, brother. How are you?
I'm good, thank you. I'm truly honoured. Oh wait, I shouldn't talk, should I?
No, you shouldn't.
Let me act it out.
It's actually really good. It's really good.
It's actually really good. Killer Cam, how are you, brother?
What's going on, man? Appreciate you having me here, man.
thank
Excited
you.
to talk about this movie. I feel like I saw parts last night that I didn't see the first
Yeah.
couple of times. So
Yeah,
I'm excited to talk about it. Yeah.
that's great. Shane, how are you, bro?
Yeah, I'm good, man. All good. This is the movie that started it all for me, so I could talk about this
Exactly.
all day.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Leal, the 1/6 scale man, how are you?
I'm pretty good, man. I mean, this movie has been in the catalog basically for decades for me, bro. Like straight up, like it's always there. I still have the official. I actually still have the ticket that I got with the button. Because back then, it's like when you went and saw it in the theater.
Wow.
There was this huge Batman button that everybody was going around collecting and stuff like that. So still have it. I still have the soundtrack. I still have the Prince soundtrack.
Yeah.
Yeah, all in, man. All in.
Oh man, that's awesome. Well,
Mhm.
to let everybody know, this is my first ever live stream, and it's the first ever film club. And today is obviously a hugely important one to myself and to the rest of the panel. Is 1989 Batman, Tim Burton's Batman. So first of all, I'm going to address the chat because that's what we do in these things.
Look at you, I'm gonna address the chat.
So Ashley, my buddy, thank you so much. Buzzing to watch this. KG, let's go. Good man. Tyra, Yura? Love older Batman movies, Batman Forever, Batman and Robin included. Good Jesus Christ. There's so much great things to say about 1989 Batman, the cast, the soundtrack, set designs, and so much more. Can't wait for the discussion. Thank you. Ryan Smith, you legend. Thank you for being here. Eddie Rodriguez. That's a cool thumbnail. I like that a lot. Hopefully we get to see the Man of Steel himself on the silver screen one very soon. Again, like this. 12-inch moose dream. Hey, it's the usual suspects. Yes, it is. And Calvin. Hella hype for this discussion. Sup, fellas. Sup, Calvin. Big man there. The coolest MF here is and we've got Shane, and then we've got Frank Cadillac. Hey chat. Right, so 1 second again, we are going to
And he had us.
Lights out! Now you want to get nuts? Come on! Let's get nuts.
Got some cashews downstairs.
We got some cashews downstairs. That's great. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to give some, one sec. I'm going to give you some very brief kind of trivia, little things that some people may not know about this film. Obviously, it came out in 1989. So Batman was only known in the mainstream with this 1966 TV show and the movie that came out, which was Campus Christmas. We had Adam West, and it was a wonderful show. And for the majority of the people out there, they only knew Batman as this. 1986, The Dark Knight Returns came out, and obviously The Killing Joke, which changed a lot of people's perception of the comic books and the character. So Tim Burton had been working in the background for this for a long time to try and put this film together, and there was a lot of studio interference at one point, and then he suddenly just went, look, I'm going to go and do this, and I'm going to do it in my own vision. So Obviously, he did a fantastic job. There was a number of people at the time who were lined up to be in this film. Obviously, we got Michael Keaton, who I personally think is an unbelievable Bruce Wayne and Batman. But he was he was one of many people that were lined up for this. One of which was Mel Gibson, which I think is pretty good. Kevin Costner, Harrison Ford at one point was thought of with Steven Spielberg. Imagine that.
Mm-hmm.
And then obviously with the Joker, we had Jack Nicholson, but he was playing hardball for a very, very long time, and he did not want this until he was being paid the big bucks and he'd be on top billing. So as you notice, when the credits came up, he was first billing because obviously he's the biggest movie stars in the world at the time. And so he got that. He also got $6 million at the time, was a hell of a lot of money. Most people getting about 10, between 5 and 10. And he got a percentage of the profits and also the merchandise. He walked out with $50 million, which is $100 million in our money now, which is
He didn't need to do any more films after this.
I know. Well, he had to
retire them.
yeah, well, he could have. Yeah, definitely. And so, as a bargaining chip at one point, because Warner Brothers knew that he was playing hardball, they approached Robin Williams and they said to him, "We want you to be our Joker. Would you want to do it?" And he said, "Yes." So he signed up for it, and they went back to Jack and said to him, "Look, we've got Robin Williams. Do you want to still do it, or do you want him to go and take it?" He says, "No, I'm going to take it." So he took it. And obviously he pissed Robin Williams off massively. So much so that when they approached him again for Batman Forever, for the Riddler role, he said no. And he refused to do any Warner Brothers film until he got an apology, which I think's damn right, because obviously he was really poor form how they did this. So I just thought I'd share that little bit of trivia there. I've got a couple of clips on.
He actually put out a statement in a People's Magazine about that. When that happened, Robin actually had an article in a People's Magazine about that. It was basically a year after the film came out. You know, because at the time he was working on a couple more films and stuff like that. That's when he was pitched the idea for what dreams to come.
Yep.
Dreams, and he was pitched the idea for that, and he had mentioned that deal with Warner Brothers and what happened and everything. So it was a lot. It was a lot behind the scenes. That
definitely. Yeah. I love that fact. I can't watch that film now. What Dreams May Come. It's Robin Williams.
Robin Williams.
I still struggle now, to be fair. But one of the big things, obviously, Michael Keaton was, at the time, obviously, this is pre-internet, pre-anything, 50,000 people wrote a letter to Warner Brothers saying that the former stand-up comedian and comedic actor, Michael Keaton, 5'8" and 38 years old, was not big enough or right for the role. And I've got a little clip to show you all what the response was like.
Many hardcore fans are afraid he won't. They have been writing hundreds of letters to Warner Brothers since they found out about the man cast as Batman.
I think that he's kind of a wimp.
It don't seem that it's right, you know, that you should have a smaller man playing as a Batman.
Well, I'd rather see Arnold Schwarzenegger, but I think Arnold Keaton would be good too.
He needs some muscles on him.
I would have liked to seen a sexier person.
He's balding, he's short, he's not broad, he's just not there. He's not Batman.
Nothing's changed.
I was going to say,
this is how life is still.
Oh my god, they weren't happy then, they're still not happy now.
That is one of the reasons why I put that on, is just to show you the backlash of people. In the day, these people are actors. They can act as a different person. Just because they were in a Twilight film or just because they were Beetlejuice does not mean that they can't play Bruce Wayne or Batman.
the thing is, like, these are, you know, these fantasy characters. It's like folklore, right? Like, you would never say, oh, she can't play Red Riding Hood because of this and that. Like, Red Riding Hood can be interpreted in so many ways, and superheroes are the modern, you know, version of those fairy tales, really. So shut up, fans.
Shut up, you dickheads.
I wonder what that kid is that was like, he's a
I know.
Where's he at? He's probably like, fuck.
What about that guy at the end saying, like, he's short, is this, is that, and he runs a comic book shop? I'm like, woof.
Also, Michael Keaton is sexy. Like, what was that lady saying? Michael Keaton's sexy. He's sexy as Beetlejuice, but, you know.
The crazy part is you know, since then, you know, we always attach Keaton to the 89 Batman. And now people were like, you know what I mean? They couldn't imagine anybody else playing that role at the time. Fast forward to now him as Vulture. Nobody else can imagine anybody else playing that role but him, because of what he brings to the role, you know, the gravitas that he actually brought to it, just the you know, just the clear, you know, he's just that actor, and he actually shows his range, you know, and that was one of the biggest things that he wanted, was to show range. So, you know what I mean? Again, like I said, I mean, that was the internet before the internet. You know what I mean? Just how vocal people were, just the same as like they were very vocal about Ben Affleck playing Batman, or, you know, vocal about anybody else who's picking up the again, Robert Pattinson about picking up the role. It's just like everybody has something to say until you see the actual film. So it's
exactly
timeless. It's
wait till you see the end product, and it's
I just realized the irony as well of Vulture. Like, it's the opposite. Like, people for Vulture were like, oh no, he needs to be more frail, he needs to be balding more, he needs to be older, you know.
It's
very true. Yeah, it's very true. Yeah, and obviously we were supposed to have seen him again in Flashpoint with Ben Affleck and obviously Ezra Miller, but the Ezra Miller situation obviously got delayed, so we would have gotten three Batman properties this year, with three different Batman, obviously the Batman, and then we'd have got Flashpoint with Keaton and Ben Affleck, which would have been amazing. Obviously they've cancelled Batgirl for the right reasons by all account, and he was only in apparently a small amount. They were kind of building the film around him, but in actual fact, by all accounts, it's only in a small amount. So, so maybe it was a good thing. But he is hoping that DC are doing the right thing now and getting themselves ready after our announcement today with Matt Reeves signing this big Warner Brothers check, so he can basically, he can absolutely name his price and just kind of crack on with the Batman 2 and everything like that, and that's going to be amazing. Ben, I'm going to start with you because you look fantastic, and we haven't really fully addressed your costume yet. You're dressed as a Joker henchman from the mime scene.
I didn't realize it was a costume, to be honest.
It's very, very specific as well. Let me get my Batman book out.
I've got that as well upstairs.
Yeah, let me see if I can find the exact. No, I can't, because I can't turn the pages with my gloves. But it's a very specific. There's a chunky guy who's got this makeup. So yeah, thanks for noticing.
Wasn't he was outside the courthouse, right?
Yes.
Yeah. I really wanted to do Bob the Goon, but unfortunately I didn't have all the pieces and stuff. But that, like, after rewatching this, I'm just like, man, I need to do a Bob the Goon cosplay. Like,
that was one of Jack Nicholson's best friends, you know.
Oh really? Yeah, because I was thinking
that's how he got the job.
I'd never seen this guy in anything before or after.
No. He looked very 80s, didn't he? But he was like, it's like that and American Express card. Don't go home without it. Those two thugs at the beginning, they were like the most 80s looking henchmen and bad guys ever. But what do you think to this film, Ben? What do you think to this?
Yeah, I'm going to depress you all now.
Okay, go ahead.
I was born in 1989.
Jesus Christ, man.
You
were conceived in the theatre watching Batman 89.
Honestly, knowing both of my parents separated now, I think I was conceived in a lab. But yeah, with this film, like, I will say, I'm going to go out on a limb and say that this is not my favorite. Batman Returns is my favorite from the two kind of Tim Burton films, and potentially all of them actually. But I was introduced to this film basically as a young kid. My grandpa used to have my grandparents lived out in Spain, and he used to have this study that was like, it was like the only cold place in the whole of this bloody Spanish village. And he just had all of these old films on VHS and books, and, you know, he used to do artwork and stuff like that. And I used to basically just go and just camp down there for like a day of the holiday in, you know, glorious sunshine. And I chose to spend it down there and watch films. And one of those films was Batman 89 and Batman Returns, or, you know, and I do, looking back on it, probably credit this film or the two films for inspiring me to pick up comic books and kind of go down that avenue in my life as well, because, you know, it was my introduction to the superhero as a kind of genre, I guess. And then from then I would go on to sort of enjoy things like the X-Men cartoon, and other stuff would sort of inspire me down the Marvel route as well. But yeah, like this film, I definitely, it's hugely influential to a lot of people, but like for me on a personal level, like it was massively influential to kind of really sort of making me, it sounds cheesy as hell, doesn't it? But like making me the person I am, like, you know, the things that I love and things I surround myself in, and my culture, you know, is definitely to the credit of this film. And I've always loved Tim Burton's work. Like, I love his weird kind of gothic approach to storytelling. That's always just appealed to the inner emo in me. And this film, I think, perfectly kind of balances that style, but also like appealing to that mainstream audience as well. It doesn't lean too much into the style, like, you know, I'm just trying to think, like some of his other stuff would, but like it's still very palatable, you know, to the general audience. So yeah, it's just an incredible film. Michael Keaton's not my favorite Batman, but at the time he was, you know, because I didn't sort of know the comics and stuff. But as I've grown older and I've like fallen in love with certain comic iterations and things, like, but yeah, like Jack Nicholson's Joker is incredible. The amazing thing with Joker as well is that Joker, I feel like Joker is a gangster, right? Like predominantly he is a gangster, and the term gangster has evolved through time. And like, what I love about this version of the Joker is it kind of epitomizes that like 80s version of what they thought like a gangster is, you know, and it's still quite camp and stuff. Like, I think people forget that this definitely still has one, you know, finger in that 1966 pie. Like,
so you were putting that?
Yeah, it was weird, wasn't it? But yeah, so yeah, I just and it was a joy to rewatch last week. You know, it just took me right back, and it's yeah, it's one of the OGs and one of the goats for a reason.
Absolutely. It is what one of the kids say. Did you guys watch the 4K version that came out on iTunes? There's a weird teal feel to it, and it's like a filter that's on it. It looked really weird. I don't know if anyone else saw that. Probably in the chat, they've probably seen it. The same, but it was.
Try turning the TV on and off again, or giving it a bang on the side.
I'll try that out. Thanks. But I am very similar to you with that. With regards, I am older than you. But for me, Batman 89 started everything for me, and me and my brother have always loved films and stories, and Batman was the thing that started us off with that. And my brother's an actor, and it kind of that, and it was kind of like Indiana Jones and stuff like that. So those kind of those things were like our go-to films, and Star Wars and Return of the Jedi and Empire and everything like that, and 89 and Returns were those films that started us off with it all, and that was our diet, as it were, to bring us into films. And it's just his campus Christmas in a lot of respects, this film, it's funny how I didn't notice how much of a hybrid it is with like the 1930s and 1980s kind of feel to it, where it's got like these like people walking around with top hats on and like with their mall and all that kind of stuff. And
I
then
love that. I love that
yeah.
Tim Burton's Gotham you can spot a mile off.
Oh,
and
yeah.
That's how it should be. You know, Gotham shouldn't feel like I always feel with Batman interpretations, you either lean into the abstract and the surreal and you know, the kind of Gothic, or you lean into the realism, which obviously Nolan did and Reeve has most recently done even more so. So like you have to commit to those two avenues, otherwise it just doesn't work for me.
I agree, and I think one of the things with the only thing I would say anything wrong about the Nolan trilogy, sorry Shane, is the is that each Batman film, it felt like a completely different Gotham each time. So the first one obviously was very much with I liked the Gotham in Batman Begins than I did the rest of them, because the other two were Chicago and the other one was New York, and it was blatantly those were those cities. And for Batman 1989, at least, that felt like a real Gotham. It felt like a surreal Gotham and a brand new city. And in Batman Returns, they kind of changed it a little bit. And I agree with you. I used to be the same with you, actually, Ben, when with regards to Batman Returns. I used to say the same thing. I actually started to rewatching it this last couple of weeks. And my wife was like, when does Batman get on? I was like, it's about 25, 30 minutes.
Probably
babe.
I like it because I'm a Batman fan because of the villains, you see. So you get double the villains in that.
Yeah.
They lean into the Tim Burton-ness of it all a lot more in that second one, I think.
Yeah, they do. They do. Cam, how about yourself, brother? What do you think to Batman 99?
Yeah, man. So just to go back, I think the Dark Knight trilogy, one of them was shot in Pittsburgh, wasn't it too? Like in the stadium?
There was part
the
of
stadium,
it,
right?
Steelers,
yeah.
Okay.
There were Steelers fans.
Okay, I saw Hines Ward in there trucking. Never do kickoff, but they had him out there anyway. So I thought the film was great, man. It was like a refresher course. You know, it's like you do your job every day, and then you go back and you take training, and you're like, we're supposed to do that? I didn't know that. And then my wife actually watched it with me because we were sitting in bed and I was about to put on the movie and she was like, "Oh, I haven't seen the Batman," and I was like, "Don't worry about it. We're gonna focus on the beginning. We're gonna go back to the basics right now, okay? Because you hadn't seen this one yet." But there's so many different pieces and parts of the movie that I didn't really, I guess, take in when I first watched it. Like Ben said, I mean, Batman was like my first superhero too. When the movie came out in 1989, I was 1 year old. So of course I didn't see it till a little bit later, but it was just, it's actually what got me started in collecting or being so involved in, you know, the collecting community as well, you know, because it was like my first love before Marvel at the time. So I just thought all around the film was just, it was great, honestly. But the like the nooks and crannies that really stood out to me is like the beginning where like the two thugs, right? They're like on the roof, they're like bickering with each other, and you see this little animated Batman peer over.
Oh yeah! Oh my god! I forgot how bad that
like,
looked.
Oh shit!
It looks so bad.
I was like, he's a cartoon. So that was like hilarious to me. And then also how many times the other thug told the other one to shut up in a row. He's like, shut up. And I was like, man, he's just gonna take that, huh? Anything for those American Express cards, got it. So that really like stood out to me, and then also how flexible they made that suit scene as well. The whole movie.
Oh
like where he's doing these high leg kicks to the jaw, and I'm like, hell no, ain't no way that leg's going up there. But it the movie in entirety felt more closest to comic book accurate Batman than any other movie, you know, just because of just the different scenes and just how Tim Burton, like he said, also created this Gothic feel of Gotham. It felt very comic book esque before anything else. I think like the Nolan version is amazing. The Matt Reeves version is great. But it just, those seem more realistic in today's time opposed to that one, you know. So
yeah, I think it was a huge course correction because they started really dark at the beginning of all this Burton verse, and then they got so camp and George Clooney and then with just an absolute mess, and it killed the franchise. It literally, that was it. It was an absolute bomb. What killed the Ice Age? The Ice Age. What's the Ice Age? But like so it killed the franchise. Really I got the quote wrong, but yeah. So then obviously it took a long time for it to come back again because people had enough of Batman. They just was like, no, don't want it anymore. And that started then off Batman Begins. So what Christopher Nolan did, I mean, he saved Batman because there's no two ways about it. It'd gone back to the 1966 people way of looking at it with the Batman credit card and some roller skates and stuff at the bottom of his boots and all this silliness. And then obviously it kind of really it changed it. So yeah, it started off incredibly strong, and then obviously then it got very camp. So yeah.
I mean, it must have been kind of hard, you know, also like trying to sell the story over and over again, especially that like 3 different actors in 4 different movies. It's like, all right, it just seems like the role kept changing because like people were like, all right, you know, like how far is this really going to take me at the same time, you know?
Yeah.
So they probably felt like, all right, we're going to get stuck in this, you know?
Well, yeah, it was quite funny because Tim Burton was going to make a 3rd one. But what happened was he basically, because the second one he just went full on Burton and went off on one and got so walking and they made it really dark, and Warner Brothers were like, how are we supposed to sell this to kids? How are we supposed to go and put these on Happy Meals when you've got the penguin biting someone's nose off?
And I would watch that as a kid. I was like, I was like, turn it off. But I think for the 3rd installment they had actually planned on having a Robin, right?
Yeah.
So there's a recent comic.
It's not very good.
No.
Yeah, I started reading it and it's not very good at all. And
I love the art in it.
Great artwork, but it looks a lot of tracing work, to be fair. But yeah, so with the films itself, they were going to go and carry it on, but then they basically interrupted too much and they said, look. And so Tim Burton went, no, see you later, I'm not doing it anymore. And because of that, Michael Keaton had a meeting with Joel Schumacher, who was lined to do it. He'd done like The Lost Boys and Tigerland and all that kind of stuff like this, and good director by all account. And he said to him, why does it have to be so sad? And Michael Keaton's like, because he witnessed the death of his parents. And he's like, why do you think he's sad? And he just went, I think he should be this, should be that. So he's like, I tell you what, see you later. And that's when Val Kilmer then joined, and then it just went downhill from there. So yeah, to continue that. And then obviously then they've done this new comic, which is a bit of a mess. But I want to see the rest of it fully first. But it is a bit of a mess at the minute. But how about you, Shane? What did you think to this film?
First of all, thanks very much for inviting me here. I really appreciate it, man.
Pleasure, man.
Yeah, like without this film, this is the first film I ever remember loving. Like, and my collecting is not rooted in comics or animation. It's rooted in my love of film. Like, I'm a film fan first, collector second. So whereas like Lael or Brendan Riley, they're comic book fans and their kind of love for these characters is rooted in comic books. Mine is rooted in film. Yeah, like it's the first film I remember loving. It's definitely what introduced me to pop culture. I have no doubt that like if I hadn't watched this film at the time I watched it, then I don't think I'd be collecting. Like some of my best childhood memories are about this film. I specifically remember it must have been Christmas '89, possibly '90. I got the Kenner like Batwing with Batman and Joker on it, and I just like I specifically remember running around the house, flying it around. I must have been 6, 7, and my father like he goes, here, bring this upstairs. It was like his toilet roll, and he like pushed it in between the kind of jaws of the thing as if I caught it. And I ran upstairs and I did my little job.
That's amazing.
Like,
yeah.
It was like I remember it so vividly. And you pull the trigger on the thing and the claws would come out, and it was just like I love. And I'd often toyed with the idea of like going on eBay, and you can get them, but I don't know. Sometimes the memory is best left in memory because it's a nice warm fuzzy one, like, you know.
It is. We had they've re-released them again, I think, in like kind of retro packaging, and I was very tempted about going back and getting them as well. But like you said, it's kind of sometimes it's best left really.
Yeah, and you know, it's nice, like, because and I remember specifically the Batman, like, looked nothing like.
No,
Keaton, talk about proportions. It was a kid's toy, and that's what it should have been.
Yeah.
But like the grappling hook was yellow. The grappling hook was yellow. It came out of his belt. And the poker, this little thing you put in the back and squeeze it, and would skirt out water as if it was acid. And
that Joker looked more like the comic one than the actual Jack Nicholson as well.
It absolutely did. Yeah, it absolutely did. And that's definitely where I first came to realize that I really like that, and maybe like, you know, the Ninja Turtles when I was like 6, 7. I was like, that I remember specifically they were like some of the coolest toys I had when I was a kid, and I remember specifically just everything about them really. But I do remember watching the movie, and it was the first movie that I remember, not only the first movie I remember loving, but also the fact that I was looking at this going, this isn't for children. I remember a vibe that like adults would watch this, and even though I was so young, 6, 7, I thought you can watch this again and again. This is like a film that mommy and daddy might enjoy as well, like, you know. Yeah. And I thought that was cool because it was like, you know, your first step into like a film designed for a bit more of a mature audiences. And then when I went back and watched it, like say as a, you know, maybe a 10-year-old, I picked up other things, and then when I watched as a teenager, I was like, oh, that reference went way over my head. And even like watching it now in preparation for this, like I still notice other things that like, you know, just come across well. And like, you know, for me, it's even as much as I love this film, I completely agree with you know, the Forever and the Batman. I lost interest in the two of them. I like the darker bit. I like Tim Burton's Edward Scissorhands. It's a fantastic movie. The Beetlejuice, obviously, and I do like his style of doing things. You know, like obviously with the Nolan, I was always curious. I don't know why it is. Maybe it's because I'm a science teacher and there's the logic, or I was always kind of curious, how would that work in a real world? Because the idea of a man like dressing up as a bat and going out at night is ridiculous. And I know there's two sides of it. Like part of it is like, yeah, it's fun to just suspend reality because, you know, there's enough crap going on in the world. You just lean into the fantasy, and it's great with Tim Burton. And then the other end of the spectrum then is like how would it work in reality? And I like how they're different takes. And then Matt Reeves is, I know he's still leaning towards reality, but he has a different take of it. It's a different iteration. And I like that interpretation. I did not like Joel Schumacher's interpretation, but yeah. So prior to watching this movie, I would have grown up with the reruns of 66 on Saturday morning, and that song, if I hear it, I'm just brought back to like the couch on Saturday morning when I'm 5, 6, 7, and the TV show has long been, you know, finished and done and dusted, but they're still rerunning them. Because of the bright colors and the music and the action and the pow, and it's so appealing to a child to watch that. Like, and I reissue those 66 Batman and Robin, man.
Oh, 100%. I saw one of those today on eBay for £500.
Crazy,
and, silly amount. So hopefully they will do, because I think it's only a matter of time, really. Yeah. Lael, I know you pushed with time, brother. What do you think to this film?
No, I thought it was amazing. I mean, the thing is like for me, you know, growing up with the 66 Batman, you know, growing with Adam West, Burt Ward, Julie Newman, you know what I mean, Eartha Kitt, you know, Devon Craig, the very amazing Lee Merriweather, you know what I mean, having Cesar Romero play the Joker, you know what I mean, having Frank Gorshin play Riddler. Like, it was crazy. Like, you know what I mean? You know, and the best Burgess Meredith, you know, basically playing Penguin. It was so much, you know, that was going on. Vincent Price, Egghead. People didn't realize that, but Vincent Price played Egghead. I remember all of that because it was, for me, it was just the lore of it. To see that and to grow up with that, you know, coming home from, you know, elementary school, running home to watch it on television after school, you know, just following it after reading comics, and you're just like, you know what, I'm all in on it, because for me, you know, I'm a comic head. I've grown up with comics. I've grown up reading Batman, and to see it, you know, it's kind of like you have to kind of marry what you've read from the comics to the television show. So you knew that the television show was like kind of campy, whereas if you read the books, it was totally different. But you welcomed it because you were so excited to see it on screen. Like you were so excited to see it on television. And I just remember running home, every day, basically watch it, to watch it, but then getting pissed off because it's like, yo, you got to tune in for the next episode. You don't know what's
it was
happening.
in the cliffhanger, didn't it?
Yeah, it always just left you hanging. But I was I was in love with Eartha Kitt. Like literally, like I loved Eartha Kitt when I was young. I used to have Eartha Kitt posters and stuff like that, and you know what I mean. It was just incredible. But then knowing that again they were going to move that to or then when we got news of them doing a live action Batman on film, it was like we heard that for so many years because there was supposed to be an earlier rendition of Batman on screen, but it never took shape because at the time no studios actually believed in it as a comic book film. They didn't believe in the property, so they didn't want to take it on. It was just that Warner Brothers at that time said, okay, we'll do it. You know what I mean? We'll might as well. And they're the ones who took it on with a risk and a hitch to it. You know what I mean? There was always a catch to it. So when, Tim Burton, took it on, I remember like just the marketing around it. You know what I mean? The marketing for the film itself. We started seeing like big ass, huge Batman buttons that you would actually just, you can get. Like the big ones, the small ones. It was like always the yellow with the black emblem on it. You would just connect it to your pants. I mean, this was basically back in cross-color days, Kid and Play, all that. Everybody had high top fades. It was incredible. It was crazy. If anybody knows about Kwame, Polka Dot Age, pretty much he had the buttons. He loved Batman. It was crazy. But I remember going to the East 5 Theater. And that's when you basically paid you paid $5 to get into the actual theater, and you could stay there the whole day if you want to and watch it. But this was basically one of those films where it was released at night. They had the news, everybody was there because like this thing took shape at the time. When Batman dropped, 89 dropped, it was Batman then was how the world accepted Black Panther when it dropped, when it just took the world by storm. It was the same ripple effect all over where everybody, all walks of life, went to that theater to basically watch it. I remember we got on the news. We were excited about it. At that time, during Halloween and all that, everybody dressed up as the Joker. Everybody was dressing up as the Joker. No matter where you went, everybody wanted to be the Joker. So it took shape. It took the world by storm. Keaton killed it, in my opinion. In the suit, here's the thing, is like, it's one of my favorite suits. And another suit that comes along that I actually, say that it's similar to it is the Batman Begins with Christian Bale. Those suits are almost similar. Especially when it comes to aesthetics. And that's why I like the Batman Begins suit. I love the cowl on those suits. If I had to look at which one and say which one I like the most, the one I'm like, actually the suit that I like the least is the Batman with Robert Pattinson. It's the least like for me, you know what I mean? Because I'm used to the comic, but if it came down to what I actually think is a better Batman and a better Bruce Wayne in my eye, which may take people by, I mean, it's Ben Affleck. I love Ben Affleck as the Batman. I love him as Bruce Wayne because we saw his level of intelligence as the Batman. Also, we saw his, a bit of his detective, prowess there as well. And he gave it the certain level of rage that was basically needed. And that's what I loved about it. I loved, and the thing is, if we would have had a chance to see, Zack Snyder's interpretation, or even, Ben Affleck's interpretation of Gotham, I think it would have been decent. But we never got a chance to see it because he never got a chance to do his own film. But when it comes to this particular film, this was the one that just broke the mold and it brought it all. Like it just, you have to pay homage to what started it all, and it was this film. You know what I mean? So having Keaton, come in and just cement his presence as this particular character, and I think he gave it the right kind of. I mean, and nobody knew it. Everybody was like, "Oh, come on, man, Mr. Mom." I was like, "Yeah, why? He's gonna kill it." Like, I mean, and he basically did kill it, and I was excited about it. I think he did an incredible job, and I mean, what else can you say? The soundtrack was incredible. The Batmobile. The first time you saw, I don't give a hell what anybody says. The first time you saw that Batmobile on screen, you were like, "Yo!"
That's still my favorite one to this
Yo,
day.
when you saw that Batmobile on, put Shane up real quick. When you saw that Batmobile on, that's from right here. But when you saw the Batmobile on screen, it was like something I had never seen before in life. And then on top of that, when the shocker was when he was like, yo, when he put the shield on it and you saw that, I was like, come on, man. That was something that you had never seen before, and it was impeccable. It was crazy. The suit, I love this suit.
Yes,
I'm telling you, I love this suit. I don't care what nobody, because the thing is, the emblem is the color that I've grown up with. That color is what I've loved. So again, like I said, that darker tone with the suit, the yellow emblem, the cow, everything about it was Batman for me. But again, I grew up, watching, the 66 on into the 1989, and just seeing the evolution of the film, even, films now. But you go back to this because it just had like small elements. Gotham, the gargoyles that you see at the churches, like just everything about it, even Jack Nicholson's interpretation, it was like, really, as a kid, for like kids back then, it was traumatic because they were like, yo, this dude is crazy. But it was more comedic than anything, but he was a nut. But the colors were incredible. I did not like, and I was probably the only person in the theater recently. I don't like Matt Reeves' interpretation of the Joker. It was disgusting.
Neither do I.
Like that was just too over the top. It was. I hope we never see that version because I think it's way
a lot more of him.
I know, but it's just way too over the top, and it doesn't look appealing to me. You know what I mean? Heath Ledger, love that. You know what I mean? I love Joaquin's Joker. I love Nicholson's Joker, but that one's just it was too much for me. But
it felt like he was doing an impression of someone doing the Joker.
Exactly,
a caricature of him.
It's like
I was just not a fan at all.
I couldn't. It's just like the aesthetically, it just kind of took me out of it because I'm like, okay, I guess I would have to see where it's going to go next. But again, it just kind of took me out of it. Whereas, again, I mean, we already know that Heath Ledger set that bar. Even going back and watching and comparing between Heath and Joaquin, at first everybody was like, yo, Joaquin killed it. I still have to give the edge to Heath because it's just something about his performance that was incredible that you can't take away. You would never be able to take that performance away. But Jack, this is Jack, cool ass Jack, who was frightening. I mean, when that acid came out of his flower, I was like, oh, what the fuck? I was like, yo, this is incredible. It was just phenomenal. But I loved it. I loved everything about it. I mean, 89 is just going to always have a special place in my heart because of the nostalgia and how it was promoted, how we saw it in the theater. I remember us sitting there watching it the entire time. The first film we watched it, turned around, dude, he was dressed up as Batman. Him and his girlfriend was back there, and he was, they was doing whatever. It's too.
They weren't watching the movie.
They definitely weren't watching the movie at that time. You heard the sound effects and everything. I was like, that definitely the damn popcorn. But yo, it was just, like literally, bro.
Popcorn.
Yeah, I'm like, that's some really moist popcorn back there. You know what I mean? Like,
a lot of butter.
You know what I mean? Yo, it was like sound effects back in 66. Pow, boom, bam, all that shit. But anyway, but nah, it was phenomenal, man. Like I think it has a special part. That Batmobile, if that is ever re-released, if Hot Toys ever re-releases that, I'm getting that shit because
1000%.
Yeah, I would definitely get it because I love it. But yeah, man, love it.
So I have an opportunity from someone I know well, for £800, $800, and I am really, really tempted, but I'm so aware there's the moment I put that money down, a week later they will re-release this. So I'm kind of.
No, I don't think they will.
Like you don't think they will?
No.
Well,
I don't. Look how long it's taken from us to seeing that new re-release, displayed at Comic-Con, and it's still not announced properly yet.
But Joao was saying that they removed the DX09, which is this 1989 Batman, and the DX08, which is Jack Nicholson from Secret Base. And a lot of the time they removed them for some reason just before An Inevitable 2.0 was out.
Oh,
so
is
if they
that
do
right?
that,
Oh, wow.
Yeah, no, he said it mightn't mean anything, but there is a pattern that if they remove them from the cabinet in Secret Base, a lot of times after that happens, a re-release or 2.0 is announced. I think the same thing happened with the DeLorean and some of those Back to the Future figures.
Wow.
It could be nothing, but if they do the two of them, they could do that Batmobile,
Oh, I mean, how good would that be? Yes, mate.
Saying about the appearance of the Joker. So this is my tattoo. I don't know if you can see it.
Let me give you full screen. 1 second.
My belly. Ignore the lycra.
That's awesome.
But this is the Marshall Rogers Joker from the Laughing Fish book,
oh
Detective
wow!
Comics.
Look at that. That's
but you
amazing.
can see,
That's hardcore.
You can see it's just lifted straight from that look with the kind of gangster hat and the long coat and everything. I wanted to get that because for me that kind of represents like the ultimate golden age version of Joker. But as I said, gangsters have evolved. So as much hate as Jared Leto gets, he was doing a gangster of this time,
Yes,
with
the grill and everything.
Dickheads with the face tattoos and stuff. That is how it is.
He was Jared Leto was a victim of a bad film, a badly written film, and on top of that, we know there was a struggle between editing because there was a totally different cut that they didn't, so he was a victim of that. And I think that even, to be quite honest, the iteration of what we saw Jared Leto do in even the Snyder cut of Justice League, that scene was incredible, and he was creepy as shit. He was insane, and I would love to basically see his iteration, his interpretation, because even what was creepy about it is when Superman shows up and everybody's preparing and they're scared as shit. He's sitting up there laughing the entire time, like, yo, I'm going to die, but I just don't care. This is, you know what I mean? It was. I think that if we would have got a chance to see more of that, it would have been embraced. And the thing is, there were plans on, for instance, with Heath, there were plans on putting him in the next version, but when he passed away, that's when they had to go towards Bane and do it the way they did it. But the thing is, it's like
they really downplayed what they were going to do in the third one. That maybe escape from the thing. He was going to be the full-on main bad guy in that one. I think
that street scene when he was like, come on, hit me, bro. Him in the middle of the street with that gun, and when the bat pod goes around him, he just standing there, looks. That scene, I have that. I actually have that one scene on canvas. It is the most phenomenal scene. That right there, because it's irreplaceable. You can't replace that. But this is when we're looking at, that is a result of what we got from '89.
Absolutely, absolutely,
definitely. '89 gave us it was a footprint. It was the blueprint for everything that we actually see going afterwards. So everybody has to pay homage, to Keaton, for what he did. And I can't wait to see what he's going to do in Flashpoint.
Me too.
I'm just super duper excited about it. I hope because they did do reshoots, I hope they give him a little bit more to do.
I think they maybe future-proofed and protect themselves just in case Ezra went off the rails again, and maybe did a few more extra scenes just in case they want to do more of a Batman-centric film and have
Rich,
flashing it a little bit. Yes, brother.
Can you do me a favor? Can you pull up the pictures that you have of the suit? I just want to do a comparison real quick because I just got this theory. I was thinking about something real quick. If they needed somebody to do a stand-in, right?
Mm-hmm.
I think Shane can do it. I think if you put Shane in that suit,
look at that.
He can do it, bro.
He's got the jaw. He's got the jaw and everything.
Jawline, bro. Don't he? I think Shane can do it. He can pull it off. Man.
Yeah, but the high-pitched Irish voice
he can do it, bro.
I
think Shane can do it. He can do it.
I'm Batman.
It's a grail.
It is.
Everything's a grail. Everything's a grail.
Magic case.
Magic case, yeah. I had the phone call.
I'm pretty sure like that was my that skit video was actually the most fun I've ever had making a video.
I can tell that you could just see it in your eyes that you were loving it. It was fantastic.
It was fun for everybody else too. That shit was funny as hell.
Yeah.
It really was. It really was.
That's
That's
true.
going to be your best performing video, isn't it?
Everybody's going to check. They're going to actually check everything that they say from now on and be like, "Damn, Shane said that." Say that shit.
Well, I included stuff I say myself too, as well. Like like because to make it fair, like there was no malice in it. It was like, come on, folks, we've all used them.
Oh yeah,
Part 2's coming.
The moment you were like, oh, let's go, and I was like, oh Jesus, and obviously KG says it a lot, and all this, and I'm always saying it as well. I said it back when I started doing this thing. I was like, oh, better maybe need to curb that a little bit because I don't sound like a caricature.
No, it wasn't meant for that. It was like we all say things, and then sometimes we go back on them when emotion gets the best of us. Like I have said, like, I really am in pre-order anymore. However, then because my wish list is getting like longer and the pre-order is getting shorter, and I'm like, God, I kind of have to pre-order something or I was going to get stung. So it's like we all kind of say things, and then like the Dopo, like if Selena Zoe Kravitz gets announced, you're going to Dopo that, and I'll probably Dopo it, like but like you have to reserve those things for like special occasions. Like, but no, it was just a bit of fun,
No, it was great. So I want to quickly just go on to, because I'm conscious of time for you, Lyle, because I know you got to shoot for your client. But have you got any of these?
No, the 89 is what I want. The 89 suit is basically what I want, and I do want that jack. So I'm hoping, that they do release, because this DX, I was so pissed. But see, here's the thing: is I was late in the game when it came to this. And look at it, look how good it still looks, bro. Like it looks phenomenal. You know what I mean? So I was so late in the game, that I didn't really get a chance to get my hands on this piece. So I'm hoping that there is a 2.0 version re-release of both the 89 Batman in this version, because I would love to have it in my collection, because I mean that suit, I'm such a fan of that suit, and I would love to have that suit posed next to the Batman Begins and just do like a whole Earth 1, Earth 2 type of situation. You know what I mean? It would be incredible to do it, because I think it would look good. It would bode well if you had like pretty much all three versions standing next to each other. Not necessarily, what's his name, Robert Pattinson's version. That would be like a standalone. I could probably pose that next to like the the DX19, and get away with it. But I think I definitely do want this if it's re-released. I mean, I would love to have it in my collection. I mean, that purple just pops, and that's does. Jack. Like that's really Jack. So I would love to have it.
Tailcoat as well.
Yeah, like I would get the 89, right? The 89 Batman. And then what I would do is I would get Cam to record his voice so I can actually do a couple. I would do Cam like a string and just have Cam's voice as the Batman behind us.
You can hear that voice. It's so good.
Okay, let's count the abs on Batman. One ab, two abs, three abs.
Cam could do it. He could.
How about you, Shane? I haven't asked you this before. Have you got any of the hot toys?
No, I don't have the 89. I don't have the DX08 Joker or the DX09 Batman. I was like a lot of people, no surprise when I saw that teased, and I thought maybe there's a re-release. But I'm just hoping it's not the type of thing that 2 years later we go, oh yeah, sure. Remember the time they showed us the 89, and we thought it was coming, but it's not. So no, I do think after that what Joao said, I'm getting a bit more faith now that this might actually happen.
Yeah, you don't think it's going to happen?
No, I'm after what Joao said about them being removed from the cabinet, and I think it was Secret Base, and after they're showing us the DX09 2.0, which has a different diorama, it's becoming a bit more like it's actually going to be a reality, at least for the DX09.
Just giving them a dust.
So if they did it, you would get it.
Yes. Yeah.
Cam, what about you, brother? Have you got any?
No.
No,
I'm all Marvel.
You're more of you're a Marvel.
Yeah,
man.
I mean, but I love Batman, man. I love the character. I love everything it brings. Do not bark. I will jack you up. My dog said that. I'm like, I heard him do the, and I'm like, don't you do it. I know you're tearing up, buddy. I would love to add these to my collection, but I know I'm not sure, honestly, if they're gonna actually re-release this Jack one. That would be amazing if they did. I feel like it would be a dumb thing for me not to pick it up at this point. But I mean, I don't know, because I really haven't dived into the whole DC comics as far as collecting. So I don't know. Still be a question mark for me, I think.
Yeah. Yeah. What about you, Ben?
Yeah, no, obviously I'm sort of the freshest to collecting 1/6 scale figures out of all of us. And so no chance at getting those. Although that being said, a friend of mine, Triple G Comics, recently picked up both 89 and Jack, paid an absolute fortune for them. But in his reviews, like, they hold up really well. Like, they both look like brand new figures, and they're not. They're very old figures, but they sort of seem to have held up well. So like, the moment a re-release gets announced, then I can't miss out again, you know. And I'm holding out hope that we'll eventually get a DeVito and Pfeiffer, because the dream would be to have Batman 89 and then the two of them either side of him.
Oh yeah, definitely. I think it's sorry, I'm a bit new to this. There you go. So obviously everyone knows that I'm a huge fan of Batman and DC and the 89 Batman and everything. I have all of these minus the Batmobile. And this Jack it's in storage, and I'm getting him out this week along with the Mime and the 89 Batman. I'm going to do reviews on them on my channel. And this Jack here, these photos don't do him justice. He is absolutely unbelievable, and he is so detailed. He looks just perfect. The technology that they have, the head sculpt technology, and the way that they did it before, they perfected it with this, and it's just absolutely fantastic. I actually might love this one more, which is the DX14. Correct me if I'm wrong on that. Which is the Mime, and it comes with this diorama base and the Gotham City courthouse as a little cardboard thing behind, and it's a big presence on your shelf. And if anyone has the chance to get it, I know there's the Mars Toys one that came out. That is a very good version of it. If you can get it, I would. But if you have the opportunity to get this one, it's just something that I absolutely love. And one of the reasons why I've continued to with Hot Toys, really, because I started at one point just going down the statues route, because obviously I've got this one here, which is my absolute pride and joy, which is my premium format. Yeah, it's an absolute beast. It's premium format from Sideshow. And I talked about it on Shane's show, Focus Show, and I sold it years ago, and I instantly regretted it, and I've got it back now in the collection. And it was one I was like, okay, do I stick with statues or do I incorporate the two scales together? And I've gone all three now, because I've got 3rd scale, 1/4 scale, and 6th scale, like an idiot. So I've set myself up for a fall here.
7th, 8th, 9th.
Yeah, I tell you what, I can't do any more. Yeah, so I'm going to quickly address the chat. Leal, are you okay for time still?
Yeah, I'm good, man. I'm good.
Okay,
I'm smooth. I got a little bit more time.
Okay, wicked. So I'm sorry if I've missed everybody on the chat on this one, because I'm going to have to go way back. Sorry, I haven't done it beforehand. So I'll start with Insane One. Movie milestones like that didn't happen often. You couldn't go anywhere without seeing anything 1989 Batman, good times. Yeah, I'd imagine that was the case. I PO'd M Toys Jokers. Yeah, looking forward to that one.
Yeah, I'm considering
Frenzy
that
Figures.
one.
Yeah. Frenzy Figures. Is that the purple one, or is that the Mime one that you're going with? And then someone just said yes. Awesome, Nick, sir. That's awesome, Ben. There you go, Ryan. There, giving you some love. Yeah, Ryan. Yeah. Same here. The nightmare scene. And if anybody, I'm thinking about doing a video on this. What does everybody think to this one? Doing a video of what Zack Snyder's second part of the Justice League was going to be. I think he's going to do 2 more films, and the stories that they released, the partial script and storyboards for them as well. So I'm thinking about doing a video on that. Would anybody like that? Would that be a good idea?
Yeah, I like it. You know what would be better though, if you could actually get Zack Snyder to make those films?
It'd be nice, wouldn't it? Yeah, it'd be nice.
I'd like that.
Hey,
I'd like that.
It's at this particular point, it's not out of the realm of possibility. I'm telling you the truth. I'm just saying.
Well, look at the Snyder Cut. People laughed about that, and it became a reality.
It's definitely not out of the realm of possibility. I'll just go put it out there. I think it's still.
I would love that.
I think it's possible it can actually happen, because again, like they're making some strange moves, and Zaslav has really doubled down on the simple fact that he wants Wonder Woman, Batman, and Superman to be the flagship of the DC universe. So
as they should be.
So you know what I mean? There's a high possibility, and people have wanted it. So, you know, as long as it gets the proper cinematic release, I think it can happen, bro.
Oh, and look at Peacemaker, you know, with the cameo in that. Like, it shows that there's other directors that want that to still be a thing as well. You know.
Well, James Gunn's got basically carte blanche as well to do a number of other projects. So Peacemaker's got season 2, and he's going to do another couple of films. I'm hoping he does the Idris
Weasel
one,
movie.
A Weasel movie, with his brother, because it's his brother, isn't it, who plays Weasel?
Sign me up.
Yeah. By the way, that's hugely underrated film. The
Suicide Squad is one of my favorite films.
Very good. I adore that. We should do that one week. Yeah, we should do that.
Yes, very good.
Yes,
I need to rewatch it.
Film.
Yes.
Yes. we were talking earlier about Daniel Bryan. Is that right? We do it. Yeah. I used to have long hair and a long beard at one point, and I used to get people going, yes, like that to me. And that was a little in-joke there. So just in case you wonder what I was talking about there. Eddie Rodriguez says this: Shane can't be Batman because he's already Captain America.
Day made. Thank you, Eddie Rodriguez. I've been calling a lot of things, but not that. I think he needs to go to Specsavers, though.
I think that's a good
Shane's
shout.
got a fan.
Like, yes. Ryan said, don't think Jack will be released, sadly, due to licensing issues. Again, we've heard that there could be a chance that might change, but it depends on money. Let's just hope that does happen, because that would be awesome. I would really, if anybody was in any doubt of getting any of those figures, don't pay any more than $300 for them, I would say. But if you ever get the chance, please get them in your collection, because they're fantastic. The 89 Batman is amazing on the shelf, but can't pose for shit. And honestly, you struggle holding his hand up. It's really not good for that. And the cape is awful. So you'd have to get like a Unreal Custom Jackson Jew and stuff like this. So I would recommend you doing that. But yeah, I could never sell the Joker. They would be buried with me. Nice image. Yeah. Oh, there you go. Oh, thank you for that, Gareth. Appreciate. Resistance is futile. Like, leave, and subscribe to Reviews with Rich if you haven't. That's very nice of you. Thank you, Insane One. Insane One's gone back through my previous videos I put out, and there's some ones that needed some work on, but he's been very nice to me and really supportive. So I really appreciate that, Insane One.
Yeah, he's a legend.
Yeah, really good guy. So Ghostbusters Plus Collector. I had all of these and sold them a while back when I thought I was getting out the six scale game. Super excited and lucky if they reissue all of these. Batman 1989 childhood callback. Yeah, absolutely.
I love that when I thought I was getting out of the.
Yes, we've all been there. Has anyone else been there in that? Right? No. Okay. No. Okay. Cam, have you ever?
Not yet.
Not yet. No. Yeah.
What do you mean? Were you getting out of an IP?
Getting out of six scale, you were like, I tell you what, I've had enough now. I've had enough of this hobby. I'm gonna just kind of keep what I've got and then not kind of expand anymore.
The only time I'm going to actually dub or actually just dip out is if expenses change the circumstance, and that's what I'm like, yeah, I'm out. But other than that, nah. Because the thing is, it's like even when you get bored, there's always something that drops or something new. Not cable, but there always is something.
Not cable, no.
Drop, you know what I mean? That you might. That's a dumpster fire of a figure, bro. I'm sorry, it is. What it is.
It's bad. It's. I haven't even talked about it today.
Like, yeah. Okay. Can we talk? Can we talk about it? Is that all right? I'm not going to be sat because I know all you've already probably put videos out there and stuff like that. But let me get rid of these chats just 1 minute. I don't know how to do it. Bloody hell. Hide current. There you go. So I woke up this morning. I haven't pre-ordered cable, but I woke up this morning to a picture of a very skinny Josh Brolin with a lollipop head, and it looked ridiculous. And I thought to myself, that's not cable, that's chicken wire. And I went on the groups, and Bob Dylan had already put it on. He'd already said it before I did. I was like, "You're a bloody legend," because he's the killer with the one lines. I can't believe that. It's just so strange.
This is what we should have actually got. This is the one. This is the cable that we all have wanted to see. Yeah. This version. Yeah. What we got today. Yo, it made me laugh. I laughed my ass off as I was canceling my order. Like literally, I was just laughing because I was like, "Yo, this is really ridiculous! Like, what did they do? Like,
they should cover up his neck with Rob Liefeld pouches."
Shane, did you do a video on it yet, bro?
Not yet.
Oh, that's coming. That's coming.
I have the thumbnail,
bro. I did a corner on it like earlier today, but
I watched it. Yeah, it was good.
Well. I was at a loss of words because I didn't know what you could tell.
Yeah.
I was like, yo, whatever the fuck we got. Like at this point, the thing is, look, for those who are completionists, you'll get it. But by getting it, you're accepting the simple fact that you're accepting Hot Toys' failure. And they're looking at it like, well, at least they got it. I'm not willing to do that. And if I have to do it, I'm getting it for free or next to nothing, or I'll pay $40 for it. Like, that's just where I'm at. Because I don't necessarily need it in my collection, to be quite honest. You know, and watching it and seeing it, I'm just like, wow, they really did that. Like, they really reached and did that. And it's a direct especially from the prototype. I'm like, what the hell? Like his head, like literally looks like it's a bobblehead figure. It looks like, you know what? It definitely looks like a Funko Pop. It looks like a 1/6 scale Funko Pop.
Yep.
So definitely. I'm like, it's a wrap. I mean, for them to do it, and they had all this time to do it. They had all this time to make improvements. Yeah.
What took so long though is my thing. It's like, so the movie came out 28, and then this figure came out just now, but still looks like.
I'll tell you exactly what went wrong. They flashed him. Well, what I mean by that is he's not Marvel. Sorry, let me correct that. He's not MCU. He's not Star Wars. He's not DC. So even though he's Marvel, he's not MCU. So they basically flashed him like that Barry Allen Flash. Is Barry Allen Flash the one? Yeah. The one CW? Is it CW Flash?
Yeah.
They basically said, okay, there's mad orders for all these Star Wars and all these MCU and all these, the few DCs they have, like, you know. But this guy, he's kind of on the fringe because he doesn't fall into the big three. Even though he's Marvel, he's not MCU. And they went, we'll just keep pushing him. So we all thought, they're delaying it maybe to get it right. They weren't. I'm so disappointed. I have
just because you've ordered it, haven't you?
Yeah, I have it bought and paid for. It was one of those really unique pieces. It's kind of almost like a stand. It's almost like a one-off because it's not MCU, it's not DC, it's not Star Wars. You know what I mean? And it's so unique looking. The design of that figure, it lends itself naturally to being like toyetic. And even though like, okay, people had just got comfortable with the fact that like they cast him, and even like if you remember, I think it's like in the post-credit scene in Deadpool 1, it's like, oh yeah, by the way, we're getting a sequel. Cable, Josh Brolin, very small, not like the comic books. So they actually recognized he's not going to be Arnold Schwarzenegger, 7 foot tall, absolutely jacked out of it. However, look, it is extremely hard to get into that kind of condition he got into.
Yes,
the fact that he's the age he is, but the fact that he's that age to get into that physique, and then they give him like, you know, I don't know, the Gucci underwear model, kind of style of body. He looks so skinny, like.
I was going to quickly just show you this because I
that's
can't.
Ben Thomas did that photo. It's very good.
Yes, Ben Thomas did that photo, which I've shared as well, which is literally what Josh Brolin was in regards to his condition, unbelievable shape, to what the hell they released, and did him a massive injustice. I mean, it's just so bad that it's just the thing is as well. This is going to make it worse for people to pre-order. People are not going to go and pre-order now because they're like, I'm going to wait for this to come out. I'm going to wait for this to be reviewed. These blogger photos, because it's not going to help them at all. Because people are just going to have the cable.
It looks like they took the same damn body that they used for Darth Maul.
It does. It does.
Yeah.
It does. Because Darth Maul he was too skinny. His neck was too long, just like this, and the head was too big. That's the first thing I thought. You're dead right when you said it in the comments.
Yeah.
And wasn't that body Wolverine's anyway? Because it had the hairy chest. Like
they did have the hairy chest.
It's got like a hairy chest, and people were saying that it was the Wolverine Origins one, I think.
Oh, really?
I'm going to stick with it though.
Really? So the thing is, it looks good.
You got a Deadpool, right?
It looks good when it's dressed.
Yeah, it would look great with a Deadpool, man.
If it has the accessories and everything, see the same thing, and that's why I'm like, I'm kind of caught in the middle because it's there in. I have Deadpool. I have the Negasonic the So Toys version. So I have that. I also have the Juggernaut from the film. So you know what I mean. It makes sense for me to get that, but it was like now I'm just caught in the middle. I'm never taking the jacket off of that thing at all.
No.
I would never take it off. But it's definitely a disservice. And like I think if enough people kick up a stink about it. Like literally, because now when I look at it, I'm afraid for what's coming next. Like literally, when I see that, I'm like, I am afraid for any. Yes.
Like, are they going to mess up the proportions of Ahsoka?
Yeah. Bro.
Like that's serious now. And like usually, I would say something like 99% of the time they knock it out of the park. I think it's getting more like 1 in every 10 is a Tony Stank, an Ant-Man, a Clone Wars Darth Maul. That is it. CW Flash. I'm not too familiar with. And now, I mean, part of me is thinking like, okay, I saw it and I was like, exactly like you, Lael. I was like, look, while I admire the detail on the body from the prototype, I was like, yeah, I'd probably look at that, but then I'll just put the t-shirt, the vest back on, the poncho, and pose him with the gun, the big gun. That was my vision for it. Yeah. And I was thinking, okay, Shane, can you still do that? And as much as the sideshow unboxings aren't great, I really like Terry Smith. And Terry Smith guided Guy Klender towards a pose which I kind of would have tended to use anyway. And he was clever because it covered up all those unsightly joints. Yeah. So I think I might... here's the two things. I either go through with it and pose it up like that and leave it on my shelf for a few weeks. And if I walk by and cringe, I'm going to sell it if I can or gift it or something. But if I walk by and go, no, that's the one pose it looks good in,
then you'll keep it.
Then I'll keep it. Yeah. But another part of it's then, it's been delayed so much now. This is my second last pre-order with Sideshow. I could cancel it now. Normally, you know what I'm going to say. I could cancel it and get in a dumpster fire. Yeah, exactly. But with the recent events, I'm like, I don't know. Do you know what I mean? So,
guys, I got to dip out of here, man. But thanks for having me. We got to do it again. Definitely.
Absolutely.
I can't wait till we do it again next movie. Let me know what's going down. But I'm, so glad to be here with everybody. And Shane, can't wait to the video. Cam, as always, Cuzzo, Ben, you know what it is. And Rich, thank you for having me here, man. So everybody in the chat,
pleasure.
love y'all, man. I'll talk to y'all later on. All right.
Thank you so much, I'll speak to you soon. Appreciate it.
Peace out.
Take care, man. Such a legend. So nice of him to drop by. Matt, I 100% agree with you, Shane, because for me, I personally think it's going to drop so much in price, it might be worth you cancelling and then waiting for Devil's Workshop to reduce it.
Yeah. And, like in light of recent events, I'm not sure what I'm doing going forward with them. I'm not sure if you caught the stream last night or anything, but
I watched the first half of it. I haven't seen the rest of it yet. Yeah.
Long story short, like the dude Philip phoned me and he said he's putting me on this list of like he'll handle my orders personally now. But in the phone call, I said that doesn't help any other customer, any other collector. While that's good for me, it's basically you're still treating everyone else with, complete disrespect and stuff like that. Like, and it's. Yeah, so I'm not sure what I'm doing at the moment, to be honest. But yeah.
Oh, good for you for. I guess it is, but no, it's respect to you for saying that, and they just need to up the game a bit, really, don't they?
A lot.
Yeah.
Everything I said in the message and on the stream, I said to him directly. Yeah. Maybe talk off screen a bit, maybe.
Okay. Yeah, cool. Yeah, that's fine. What somebody was saying here, Jack, was someone confirms in Hong Kong it is the same body as Darth Maul, which, I mean, as soon as Leal said that, he looks exactly like Darth Maul from Clone Wars, doesn't he? It's insane. So I've got a moth flying around in my conservatory. So forgive me.
I'm Batman.
This turned to cable talk, didn't it? But Cam, have you ordered cable or anything?
No. And because, like Shane said, it sits like in that weird space where it's not MCU technically. For me, it was just like it wasn't a must-have. I love the film. I love the actor. I love his portrayal of the character, but it just didn't. It didn't gravitate to me enough for me to want to like go ahead and pick it up. So I totally passed on this one. And now that I've seen the photos, I'm kind of glad I did. But hopefully when Shane gets it in hand, it actually looks better than the photos are actually portraying to.
I don't think so.
I know. I'm trying to give a benefit of the doubt for your sake, but I'm hoping it looks.
We're relying on you, Shane, to make this look good.
Hopefully it looks good. Buff him up a bit. He needs some help.
Yeah. How about you, Ben?
Look, this is like one of my favorite Marvel films, like period, even above all of the MCU stuff as well. Like Deadpool 2, but anyone who knows me knows the main reason for that is I am a huge Colossus fan. So it was like I kind of seeing Colossus versus Juggernaut on the screen the way that I'd always kind of imagined it. It was just a dream come true. Anyway, so yeah, I love the film. I won't be getting the figure.
No.
But the Toys Era one suddenly looks a lot better,
well, that was going really cheap at one point, wasn't it? But
not anymore.
It was 150 quid last week on eBay. Secondhand jobby in the UK or whatever, and 150 quid. Like, and the thing is, you can pair that up with the other sort of third-party ones from that film. And I would love to have that display, but it's just not. I know that I want it to be a thing. So I haven't started it yet because the moment I start it, I need to make sure I see it through. And I would love that the Steel 2.0 from Toys Era.
Yeah.
Man, that's a grail. That's a grail, Shane.
It's a grail. But I'll keep an eye out for you on that because I always see stuff like that.
One came up today that ends in 6 days, so I'm going to keep an eye on it, and then when it goes over £50, I'll be like, I'm out. Beyond my budget.
Well, to answer the question that I've asked everyone else, I've not ordered this at all, and I had a Deadpool 2 ready to go on eBay, and the guy sent me more pictures of it, and it looked really dusty and not very good. So I'm going to leave it, and now even more so now with the whole cable thing, because I was going to pre-order cable, and I'm glad I haven't, because I'm just not going to bother now. I'll wait for Deadpool 3. So, which they've announced, which they're going to be starting filming probably next year anyway. So there will be another version.
I hope they bring back Domino and Cable. And I mean, the only thing with Cable is obviously he's got Thanos' face.
But that could work out so perfectly.
Because
Deadpool could be like, so does that guy look familiar to you? It'd be brilliant if they just.
I actually, if anyone really is bored, I've got an old video called Deadpool 3 movie idea, and I basically did like a fan fiction for how I would do Deadpool 3, and the idea was that he's playing with his little thingamajig, and basically the TVA catch him, but at the TVA he kind of joins up with other, like I had Chavez America in there before she was even a thing in Multiverse of Madness and stuff, so it's not aged well as a video, but if you're ever bored,
there you go, we'll check it out. I'm going to address the chat a little bit more. My good wife, Katie Cujo, what's your best fun fact from the movie? Well, wife, I thought I've already said it. She obviously haven't watched the full thing. But David Bowie was going to be at one point. He was in that line for Joker.
Can you imagine?
Dafoe. I know.
Hello, Batman.
Hello. Who do you love? Who do you love? I love Bowie. But that's my favorite. Does anybody else any stand? I mean, we've gone back to the film, I guess. But with that, is there anything that stood out to you guys that you thought, I didn't remember that? For me, it was how funny Jack was. And how cool he was as well, because he was so twisted. The fact that he was able to 1 minute burn a woman's face off with acid, and then try to do the same thing, and then poison all the makeup products and all that kind of stuff. That was, if that was in a film now,
dark.
It would be like, oh, it's dark as anything. So I think that was something that really stood out to me. How about anybody else?
I like I forgot how reminiscent it was of like Frank Miller's work with the news reports.
Yes.
Just those news reports, like it was like reading, the Dark Knight or whatever, the Frank Miller run. And I just love how abstract it all feels. And, the joy of Batman, and maybe... or no, definitely even more so than Marvel. Like Marvel, you can't really interpret too much, like it has to kind of be a certain way pretty much, or of its time. Whereas with Batman, you can tell that story in so many different weird ways and lean into one aesthetic and, or another, and have different actors play Bruce and stuff. So I just kind of, it was great. I haven't watched it for probably a good couple of years, and it really kind of invigorated me. And I've held off on watching Batman Returns because I hope that you do that in the future.
Yes, we will be doing that.
I'm looking forward to rewatching that.
Me and Shane were talking, and we were talking about doing Dark Knight trilogy, but not like all at once, to kind of just space them out. So we'll probably do this kind of thing. Got to give Shane a shout out for being so great, helping me out with these ideas and stuff as well, and stuff.
It's not even helping it out. It's just chatting with a mate, man. That's all it is.
Oh, mate. Well, thank you. I appreciate it. Cam, anything that's got you? I'm jealous, isn't it?
And he put his lipstick on. He got no kiss.
Cam, anything stood out to you, buddy?
I think the part of the movie that actually made the fact that Batman was so much more intelligent in this movie opposed to the villains, like it was like night and day, because like when they're in the cosmetic store and Joker was trying to burn her with a flower, and then Batman shoots through the glass and he gets his grapple, his more like a I guess not really a grapple gun, but I guess more of like a
it was like a zip line.
Zip line. There you go. Yeah. Damn, thank you guys. So his zip line, and he grabs Vicki Vale and they get on it and they slide and the villains are just like, I'm like, shoot him, shoot them, shoot. The hell y'all doing? Shoot the ass. They're right there. And no, they just didn't. Just like, wow. Look at him. Like, so it was funny to see those parts of the movie and stuff. And even when he was fighting the Asian American individual who was doing like the knives. I was like, oh my God, this dude's obviously about to get his ass handed. But,
they really missed the trick not doing an Indiana Jones moment there though. Like I was
like,
waiting for him to pull a gun out.
Just shoots him. I was like,
yeah. It was very Indiana Jones. I thought that. Bit. Do you know the story behind the Indiana Jones one? No.
Was it improvised?
You mean with the gun?
Yes. So,
where the guys was it in the Raider of the Lost Ark or was it the?
Yeah, it was the first one, Raiders of the Lost Ark. So
where the guys like coming with the swords.
Yes, it was doing the whole thing with the swords, and he just shot him. That was because Harrison Ford had a stomach bug, and literally they'd set up the shot, and he's like, "I need to go." They're going to do this whole choreographed fight scene, but instead he's like, "Can I just shoot him?" And that's what he did. And then he was off to the toilet straight after.
He did the shit.
Yeah.
You just imagine Harrison Ford being like, "Guys, I need a shit."
Walks off.
The force is strong with him.
So someone put a classic little line here, which I didn't see. Cable with the body of Jim Carrey from the Cable Guy.
Nice.
I think that's amazing.
God, that's a random film.
Yeah, to release that after so many delays. No shortcuts taken. Yeah. Hey, Rich. How much for that sideshow Keaton behind you? Not a chance. It's my pride and joy. Quick little fact, by the way, in case you didn't know about the Batsuit, he's wearing Nikes or Nikes. That's completely true. If you knew that already.
You know what's mad about the suit as well is that all black look actually doesn't explicitly appear in the comics. Like that was a new.
It was a new thing.
Like Neil Adams kind of was involved with like transforming the comics from that kind of camp comic into like the dark detective and stuff. But it was great.
That was always grey and blue,
wasn't it?
Yeah, that was always grey and blue.
And then you look at all the films after, and it's all other than that one, Ben Affleck one, it's all pretty much been black, isn't it?
Yeah, that's very true. But yeah, Ghostbusters Plus collector. If you go on eBay, I think there was one recently selling for like £600 something. If you get a chance to get it, do. I think they were probably.
Oh God, hurry!
I can't eat the gloves.
I think they will. I think it will probably already gone. But that it's such an amazing piece. I sold it because I had a wedding to pay for, and I just had to quickly sell up a little bit because I was a bit short. So and then recently, I know, right? Sure worth it. So Insane One, 22 people and 20 likes. Not bad, folks. What's wrong with the last two? That's a good question. Hopefully this will be a regular thing for everybody, and hitting that like button, subscribing to everybody on this channel. I have on this stream, I've put everyone's links to their channel underneath in the description, so if you can all subscribe to everybody on here. I hit 200 subscribers last night, so I was pretty happy. Yay! Thank you. So, I mean, it's stuff like this that will really help and get my name out there. And obviously, I really appreciate everyone's support so far. And I'm going to be busting out some content this week and stuff because I've got a bit of time off, so that'll be nice to do that. And what we've got here, so. Lego Batman next. No,
what a film.
What a classic, by the way. Yeah. Yeah, that's a great film. Billy D. Williams. Billy D. Williams, who obviously played Harvey Dent in 89 Batman, played Two-Face in Lego Batman. And by the way, do you know what D stands for in his middle name? Just keep it PG. December is December.
Oh, okay. All right.
William December Williams. Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, you're like a walking IMDb.
I know.
You are.
I know a lot of shit, and none of that shit's useful. So
I love it.
So, but next week, this time, same bat channel, same bat time, we are going to do Top Gun Maverick. So if we can come back here next week at the same time, 9 p.m. on Tuesday, it would be awesome to do that. The following week, I've already thought about this, and with Andor coming out, I think we should do Rogue One as well the following week, because it's been a while since I've seen it. Apparently it's been released in IMAX as well, so if you get a chance to see it, probably that's a good shout to do that. It's a film I haven't seen in ages, so I think it would be a great one for us to do. And so has everyone had a good time?
Absolutely.
And, yeah, that's awesome. To everybody who has shown up today and watched, and to the panel, thank you so much for this. I have absolutely loved it. If everybody can like, subscribe, and share this as well, because obviously this is something that people can go back to and watch. And that was one of the ideas in this, is for people to fall in love again with films, and sometimes to go back into the catalogue and stuff, see stuff that might not be at the forefront of their mind and what's cool right now to watch in the sea of content that's out there at the moment. I'm going to be doing a lot of content in the next week or so, including a number of unboxings and reviews. Ben, what have you got coming up on your channel?
Yeah, so yesterday I went live for my She-Hulk intranale. So I basically cover the introductory episode and then come back for the finale episode of a series. So yeah, yesterday was the intro for She-Hulk, and yeah, it was good fun. We had Gigi on from One Sit Fix, who's actually a trainee lawyer, so that was amazing to kind of get her perspective on stuff, and it was just a good fun discussion. And you know, I may have dressed up for the occasion. So
she did. Amazing photo.
What she looked like, then head over and you'll see. But yeah, so that was that. I'm thinking of maybe starting a new show soon called Figure Fantasy, where I invite people to come on. We basically pitch ideas for figures that have never ever been made, and just, you know, splurge thoughts on that. So that is in the works. If I don't do that before, the next intranale will be Andor, mid-September.
Right.
So, yeah.
You thought about doing the Game of Thrones ones?
I don't really know enough. Like, I don't feel qualified. Like, I feel like with my Marvel and Star Wars, I'm quite good at. Yeah, you know, I can kind of contribute and navigate the conversation with kind of, you know, pointless facts like you have all night. So no, but do you know what I mean? Like, it's good to have that. But Game of Thrones, I'm just like, yeah, it's good because there's dragons and boobs. That's my enjoyment of. That's the level that I'm on for Game of Thrones. So
no, that's probably true actually, because I'm the same. I thought about doing something where I can kind of review an episode a week of something, and I was going to do Game of Thrones. I was like, I haven't even seen it yet, but also I was like thinking, I don't know enough about the world, the wider world, because it's set like hundreds of years before the first season and stuff. But Lord of the Rings, the TV show, comes out next week, so I think that could be quite interesting to watch.
Actually,
that's dragons, but no boobs. So I feel like I'm swaying towards Game of Thrones.
Well, my wife, matter of fact, the crazy part is my wife was like, yeah, there's going to be no boobs in this version of Game of Thrones. And I was like, damn! And then I watched it. There's boobs.
Is that? All right.
That's right. I was like,
I will never recover from seeing the Doctor do a certain thing in this episode. Like, I'll never unsee that shit.
What did you say?
I need to watch it. I haven't seen it yet.
Are you talking about
the Matt Smith going to town?
Yeah. It's very short though. But whatever. You know.
But it's just such velocity.
Yeah, he gotta take it easy. You know, just like it's probably why it didn't work.
I'm sorry, Rich. We've had
when I watched that scene, you go, "Oh, such velocity!" I was like, "Oh my god!"
I have my voice in the back of your head.
Cam, what about you? Have you got anything coming up for your channel?
Yeah, man. So I'm trying to finish up this review for my rescue figure. I was trying to go in order because I still have about 6 or 7 figures that I haven't reviewed yet, and then I got a couple coming in the next couple of weeks. So I'm trying to get these done before I'm behind, you know. So yeah, I'm gonna drop some new content on my page and then drop some new reels on my TikTok as well as on Instagram. But thanks for having me, man. I appreciate being here.
Man,
Can't wait to come back
pleasure.
next time, man.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you so much for coming. It means I know you had to move some things with work and stuff, so I really appreciate that you did that. And I've followed your lead. I will be following your lead by going back through my collection and reviewing them individually. I think that's a great idea because I was like, at first I was like, I've got nothing new coming in. What am I going to do?
Right,
and it was like following your lead. I was like, well, I've got all this stuff plus all this stuff.
I
know. I can start.
And it's like I want to do the one that just came in recently, but I was like, wait. Still have other ones I haven't even done yet.
Yeah.
So let me go do those, and then I'll do this one last, hopefully, you know. So we'll see how the order goes. But yeah,
that's awesome. That's awesome. No, pleasure. Thank you. How about you, Shane? What you got coming up?
Thanks very much, man. I appreciate any chance to chat about films. Like I said, like my collecting is rooted in films, not in comic books. So it's kind of like film fan first. So it's just nice to chat, regardless of it's a film where you collect from or not. Like so. And it's a great. It's. I really thought it was nice the way you chose the Batman '89 to start us off because it's just.
Thank you.
I think everyone. It's just one of those films, isn't it? Like it's just a special one, really.
Yeah.
Definitely. So yeah, look, I had a live stream last night and a video over the weekend that they're done, and I don't want to talk about it to be honest anymore. It was a video. They're. You know, I love putting up reaction videos to new teasers or drops or announcements and stuff like that and keeping it in terms of all the things we love about this hobby. But it was just something I had to address and I did it and that's it. So I'm onwards to the next thing now. I'm really busy at work at the moment, so I don't know when I get a chance to do the cable reaction video. So it might be tonight or tomorrow, but I will do something towards it. It's a unique situation because it's the first time I've had something on pre-order which falls into that Tony Stank Ant-Man category. So yeah, I do think I'm going to bring it in and see if I can get that one pose, the sweet spot where it's like, yeah, that looks good, instead of writing it off straight away. But like you said, because it's been delayed on Sideshow, I could cancel, keep my NRD. Then I only have one more pre-order left with Sideshow because I'm getting out of them. In terms of content, the cable video's coming, and I've I've nothing else scheduled. I did get a response from a quite big YouTuber saying that they'd be willing to do an episode of Visions, but it's not locked in yet, so I don't want to send anything. But
I've already been on, Shane.
This is the 2.0 reissues are all the things, man.
That's it. That's it.
So I'm looking forward to it, because I'm a fan of their channel, so and have been for a while. So I'm trying to see what the story is. So when I lock that in, I'll put it up on Instagram or something. So thanks so much.
We'll go on. Oh man, thank you so much for your help as well with this and for helping with the ideas and stuff. And I really appreciate it. And for me, I'll get my banner up. For me, I've got a number of videos I'm going to be putting out there. I'm going to be doing regular unboxing of my collection, talking about statues, talking about 6 scale, sometimes the story of how I got these, because some of them are quite entertaining and they have a hustle side to me, which I love doing. I've always enjoyed kind of closing the deal and getting it for value for money and things like that, and sold one of these things to get something else and those kind of stories. So I'm going to start doing that more and more. So I'm going to try and do an unboxing and review a week. So that will be great to do. And obviously we'll be doing this every Tuesday, hopefully. And I'm on Say What tomorrow night. So I'll be punching that coffee because it's, what time is it? Like 2:30 or something in
2:30, yeah. 2:15, I think. 2:15.
All right. So I'm gonna be matchsticks, but I'd just be great to kind of get on there, and because I always love that show, and it'd be good to do that. So yeah, Cam, you'll be on there tomorrow night, will you?
Yeah, I'll be on there tomorrow night.
I'll see them.
9:15 Eastern Standard Time. I still be tired, so I don't know how y'all be doing it.
I was going to say that's
11 o'clock, and
now.
I'm like, I'm tired, and so for that's crazy.
I need to punch that coffee, but maybe have a nap tomorrow or something like that. So Thank you so much for everybody who has watched this whole thing. Please like, comment, and subscribe to every single person on this panel. And please spread the word, because we're doing Top Gun Maverick next week. The week after, we'll be doing Rogue One. So I'll see you guys soon. Thank you again, and take care.